Wasn't that an amazing game? Or wasn't that a blowout? How come every single Super Bowl is a one-sided, lopsided, boring event? I just can't believe it. No, I'm just kidding. I wanted to record both outcomes because I'm recording this before the game, and this is coming out after the game. So I wanted to make it seem like this is cutting edge at the end of the moment. I hope you think I'm funny because I could totally come off as an idiot. Welcome to How to Build a 10, the podcast on how to make you successful. My name is Matt Williams, the moron. We are part of the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Go over to flfnetwork.com, put an HtBT in the drop down, and you'll get a sweet mug that you can put your coffee, your tea, or whatever your heart desires in. And I know make fun of myself from time to time, but I'm having fun, and I hope you seriously are having fun too. Everyone, welcome who's listening on YouTube. Appreciate a like, a subscribe, a share, and all of them above. You can email me, matt@howtobuildatent.com. You can find me on all of the social media sites, How to Build a Tent. I just got back from a little fundraiser from down the street. Our association, our HOA, we have a website or a Facebook page. And they were doing a fundraiser for the fires in Australia. And I thought that was really cool. And I thought that was a great thing to be doing with your kids. They had all their kids out there doing it. They had a lemonade stand. They had brownies. They had cookies. And I just thought, man, what a great thing to get your kids used to, get them learning, is not just to do business. Like, we should be teaching them about the fundamentals about business, money, how the private capital works. The private sector works too. But also, this is how you fundraise. This is how you start an organization. This is how you help people. This is how you give of your time. And I just thought that was really great. I believe it had to do with like the animals that are being, killed or relocated or whatever it is. And I'm like, come on. Like, do we really need charities for animals with all of the inhumane stuff happening to humans happening right now? But you know what? I wanted to take it as an opportunity to meet my neighbors, meet some people in the neighborhood. So we went over there, and my son, Mr. Outgoing, loves talking with them. Today, I want to talk about how God works, how God provides for us. And I'm not just talking about financially, but like opportunities in our careers, in our businesses, situations that work out. Something that I've been reflecting upon and kind of picking up on. And then also building your fences out. And that is the key to making this country better. I'm not going to say great again because, someone else already took that line. But building your fences out. It was really interesting. My neighbors behind me are replacing the fence that borders with us. And we were talking about that. And I just thought that was really interesting, thinking about where we are today and how that is applied today and what that means for us and just where our country was compared to where it was today. So that's where we're going to be talking about those two things. And then I'm going to go watch the Super Bowl game. And then Tuesday I'll actually have, a comment because I'll know the outcome of that game because I'll record that one the day after. So that's a little insider baseball. Before we get started into those two topics, go over to KingsmanGroomingPros.com, KingsmanGroomingPros.com. Get your grooming kits, your beard balms, your beard oil, skincare, hair products, and leather accessories there. The 3 reasons why. They're a Christian company. You need to be supporting Christian companies. We need to help build each other up, help make each other more successful. 2, they have great quality products. You're probably already using these products in one way or another, so go get them and support a Christian company and get better quality products than what you're using now. And then 3, you get 10% off when you put HtBT in the checkout promo code section. Support a Christian company, get better quality products, 10% off when you put HtBT in the checkout promo code section. So God providing. And I often think about this, and it's funny because in my past, in my history, in my immaturity, I would always try to guess how God's going to provide. Have you ever done that before? Like, I'm really in this situation and I don't know what's going to happen. And I think this is the only thing that could happen is if I get this raise, or if this business deal works, or if they come down to the agreed upon price, or if the pastor at this church sees things my way. if the parents will stop complaining during Sunday school, if you have Sunday school, I don't know, whatever it is. But you'll be in this situation that God oftentimes brings us in. Maybe it's because of our sin, whatever it is. And we think, or I try to think at least, how God's going to get me out of this one. Not that I'm not saying that we have responsibility to do things, but don't you realize okay, this is the only way that God's going to provide for X, Y, and Z, money, finances, career, family, whatever it is. This is the only way God's going to do it. And then you look back and you realize, man, God did it completely different than I thought he was going to do. Or I didn't even see that coming. I didn't even see that option. I didn't even fathom it. That has happened to me a number of times in my life. And I'm sure it's happened to you too, because it's not me doing anything. It's God working it. And I always was like, does God just refuse to do the way that I guess? Is it really just me being like, oh, I figured it out? And then God's like, oh, well, since you thought about it, I'm going to do it some other way. No, that's not really what he does. But what I've noticed is that, and this is it's kind of interesting. You think about it with the verses where it's like, even when you don't know what to pray for, God intercedes on your behalf. It's like, you don't even know really what to ask for a lot of times. And sometimes we ask for good things and they're really bad things for us. And we don't even know. We don't know if that's going to be good or bad for us, but the Spirit intercedes for us. And oftentimes I think we see that when we get into situations, either brought about by our sin or God's just bringing us into the situation for his glory for whatever reason. But then he will bring about something happening when you look back and be like, man, I could have never guessed that was going to happen. Man, I never would have thought that was how that was going to play out. Man, I'm so glad it didn't happen the way that I wanted it to happen. I'm so glad he didn't give me what I asked, whatever it is. And I used to think, well, nope, because God doesn't want you to know what he's doing ever. And I don't even think it's that. I honestly think that he does things in a way that we don't think of, that we can't comprehend, because it's really difficult for us to give ourselves the glory in those cases. It's really hard for us to say, oh, I did that. Look how great I am. Oh, man, these people are really lucky they had me, or whatever it is. And then it's like sometimes things work out in a way where the people don't even want to do it. And I forgot, oh my gosh, what was this? This story just popped in my head. I wasn't even thinking about using it. I forgot I know who he was talking about, but I'm not going to say who it was. But basically, they were going in on a deal and they were asking for, let's just say, $100,000. And these are completely different numbers. No, let's make it bigger than it was. They were asking $10 million for this deal. And this Christian organization came in and they said, oh, we can only give you $5 million for it. So cut it basically in half. Now, those numbers are not right, but the percentage is right. So they asked for half. And the guy just agreed to it, stopped. And then, why did I just agree to that? He said that out loud and said, well, I gave you my word, so I agreed to the deal. I'll do the deal. He didn't even know why he agreed to the deal of half the price he was asking for. It was worth what he was asking for, from what I understand. And they did half. And I know who this is. I know who this is. Obviously, I know who this is, but I remembered who this is, and they listened to the show. And I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you realize who I'm talking to, I try to make this ambiguous as possible because I didn't ask for permission. But they didn't even want you to do it. And so my point is simply this, is that when you get into tough times, or when you get out of tough times, continually give God the glory, even before you know what's going to happen, even before you know how he's going to deliver you, because he's already got it figured out. And it's not going to be the way that you think oftentimes. In my case, I never guess what God's going to do. I don't know why that is. Maybe I'm a terrible guesser. Maybe I definitely don't have the gift of prophecy, but I never guess how God is going to work things out that are difficult, that are, outside of my control or beyond me and things like that. And I want that to be encouragement to us, because it's not up to us to figure out. And that should be a sigh of relief. When you stop finding your identity in yourself or anything else, and you find it in God and who he says you are, when you find that your righteousness in him, when you trust him as the provider, the one who's going to save and not your finances, not your salary. See, he always has these untraditional ways of providing for us, because then we can't put our trust in any of those things. Because if it's always one way, it works out. Oh, if you just go to college and you're going to have a great life. Well, that's not always the case, because then we would probably all think that college was our provider instead of Jesus. If we thought our careers were the thing that we just needed, if we just got to the 6-figure income, we'd be set for life. But then other things happen, and we can't. So because we can't say, oh, if you just had 6 figures, your life would be great. And I think that's another reason for the creativity of why God does these things. And because we can just trust him and not one of those things is going to work out, we don't have to put pressure on ourselves and be like, oh, if I just got to that 6-figure income, or oh, if I just got that graduate degree. Trust me, neither of those things are going to set you for life. But just relax and enter the rest of what God's going to do and sit back and enjoy it. And that's one of the things I'm working on now. And I'm really gone way longer on this segment than I'm supposed to or wanted to. But one of the things I'm just learning now is to be able to give praise and thanks when I don't feel like it, when I don't see the solutions, when I'm stressed, and fight battles through worship and thanksgiving. You're going to be happier. You're just going to be a lot happier in life. This show is also brought to you. I got to pull it up. I totally didn't pull it up. I'm like a terrible podcast host and hope. Terrible podcast hope. Faithfulcounseling.com/HtBT. As Christians, you can go through times where you struggle with depression, stress, anxiety, sleeping. How great would it be to find counselors that share your values? This is the company that does. Faithfulcounseling.com/HtBT. They specialize in those things: grief, family conflicts. Sometimes you just need to talk it out with somebody. They have 3,000 U.S. licensed therapists across all the United States. They can communicate through chat, text, phone, video, 24 hours a day on all the platforms: desk, web app, iOS, Android, all those things. You can have a video phone session. They usually are like weekly. There's financial aid available. They're secure, convenient, affordable. Best of all, you get 10% off when you use the discount code HtBT. They say discount code, but you should use the link, faithfulcounseling.com/HtBT. That's faithfulcounseling.com/HtBT. You simply fill out a questionnaire so they can assess and get you to a right counselor that will fit your needs, and you will get the help you need. And you get 10% off when you go to faithfulcounseling.com/HtBT. Now, there's something unique that happens in the South and the East and the Midwest, I guess, and basically in California versus the rest of the country. In California, all the homes that I've ever seen or known, their backyards are brick, like big red cinder block bricks. Now, when I come out here, sometimes there's no fencing between the homes, which is unheard of in a densely populated place like Southern California. But here in our neighborhood and the neighborhoods behind us and whatnot, our fences are wood fence for the most part. I have some it's not lattice. The plastic stuff that's not really plastic, that's better than wood because it lasts longer. Anyway, someone let me know. Email me, matt@howtobuild10.com. Tell me what I'm talking about. Veneer? Never mind. It doesn't matter. But so there's wood, and then there's one side of the wood that has the flush side that doesn't have the back crossbars, and it just looks better. And then there's the side that is uglier. It's not necessarily ugly. It's the same color wood and stuff, but it has the nails and the backboard and all that stuff. And I was talking with our neighbor in the back who's redoing the fence, and we're splitting it because, it's both of our fences really. And he said the custom of fencing is custom, not the law, not the HOA. They don't even have the same HOA. They don't even have the same county as us, actually. It's not county law. It's not building code. It's not covenants and codes and restrictions, the CC&Rs, just custom. It's the custom that the person that pays for the fence gets the ugly side. And then the person that isn't paying for the fence or redoing the fence gets the nice side. What? I seriously was kind of taken back by that, because that's the exact opposite of what we see today, right? If you pay for it, you get the best, and your neighbors should get the crappy part. Your neighbors aren't paying for it. Now, we're splitting it half and half. But just think about that for a second. Like, what area of your life do you pay for something that benefits multiple people, but you as the payer don't get the nice side? You get the uglier side. And it was custom that is driving this. And every single person in our neighborhood, it might be in your neighborhoods too, depending on where you live, the people that pay it take the ugly side and give their neighbors the nice side. And it's the custom side, it's the nice side that is given to the people that didn't pay for it and didn't initiate the building. Again, we're splitting it. Not that I had to, but it's just, again, custom, a good thing to do. And I was thinking about that more, like, how far have we come in our culture where it's about me, what I deserve, my rights. This is what I deserve. You don't get more of a deserving entitlement than paying for something. If there was ever a time you deserve something, it would be when you're paying for something. But even in our custom today, the selfless thing to do, the hospitable thing, the neighborly thing to do here in Florida is to give your neighbor the better side if you're paying for new fencing. And I was just thinking, man, the reason I think that is in the South, and I could be wrong, but is we have this culture of Christianity still. We have these, traditions. Now, granted, traditions don't save you. There's a big problem in the South of it just being cultural, going to church and not having a relationship with God and not really making him Lord of your life. But America has remnants of the Christian faith and being a country of Christianity. The South definitely has the fruit and the benefits of that culture and that lifestyle. And part of that is the selflessness and the giving up of your rights, of your entitlements to benefit your neighbor. And I was just thinking about that more and more and more. If we could get back to that is that Christian society of Jesus being Lord. I wonder if some of you are like, oh, I was wondering where he was going with this fence out thing. And put our fence out in all of our areas of life. That is laying down the entitlements, putting the entitlements down and saying, oh, I know what I deserve, or this is what is due to me, but I'm going to benefit my neighbor. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to do best by you. I'm going to do good by you. I'm going to help you out. And if we did that, how great would this country be? And we could only do that as if we believed in the Lord and that he is the rewarder of those who continually seek him and do good. Because if we just were living for this life in a secular world, if we continue to push the Christianity off, these customs are going to fade away. Like they probably have had in the Northeast and New York and California, liberal places, that culture has been taken over by the secular society in our culture, a humanistic religion. So face it out, face those fences out, and think about different ways, not just with fencing, that you could be doing that with your neighbors, that you could be doing that with your church, with your coworkers, with your employees. How can you build a fence face out and bless other people, even when you are deserving, even when it's your right to lay that down? Is there anything more Christian than that? Is there anything more Christ-like than taking what is rightfully yours, laying it aside, and sacrificing for somebody else? Is that not the gospel? So let's go out, be successful, trust God to be providing, walk in him, be like him, and let's love and bless others. Talk to you tomorrow. God bless.